I was super into aesthetics always. I don't know if, okay, you guys are guys.
I
but
know-
like
I know what you
Zodiac
mean.
signs, okay?
This might be a can of worms, but I want to hear your perspective on the 5 towns in general and that whole community.
Honestly, you should speak to your chat.
Doing
I'm gonna get like skewered for this, but
Penina Kunstler, or as most people know you, Hair by Pen. Welcome. Today we want to talk about influencers and Jewish weddings and Jewish life in general and fashion. But first, where does the story start?
so I've been on Instagram since like 2016, maybe a little before that. I was in high school. I started a page. It was called Hair by Pen.
Oh, that was the original name.
And nobody knew what it was. Yeah, it was the original
Oh.
name. I changed my name this year online.
What do you
It was
change
like
it
a
to?
big deal. I like
it's a
had anxiety.
Seabag Kunstler, right?
No, that's just like
Your
my
actual
actual
name.
name.
Okay,
But like
fine.
I need
Those
my
still
handle.
exist.
You rebranded.
Influencers
I like
still have real names,
rebranded
yeah.
into just my name. It didn't work. Everyone still like
Calls
sees me
you
on the
Hair-
street and they're like Hair by Pen. So I
That's
mean that's
hilarious.
fine. It's my name too.
Are you trying to like get people to know you for the new name a lot more, or are you
I
more
think
passive?
I just started feeling a drop like disconnected from it. And I was like, I don't just do that. It's not like my entire personality. So I just wanted to be myself, if that makes any sense. I just wanted to be my own name.
That's fair. Yeah.
Even though people knew my name, it was still like, hey, Hair by Pen. Like I'd be eating dinner out with my kids and people were like, oh my God. Are
What
you
was the
Hair by
original-
Pen?
You didn't want to be known by hair. You wanted to be. What else did you
Yeah,
want people
because
to know
then
about
one of
you?
my brother-in-laws just started calling me Hair.
Really?
That's
He
actually
was like, that's
hilarious.
your first name. And he still does that. So shout out to Dove. Hello.
Why did you start it in the first place?
So I was always like handy and good at doing hair, literally. And I used to like play with like my friend's hair and like make all these crazy things using like one bobby pin and a rubber band.
As guys, we cannot relate. to
Yeah,
that.
I don't know why I'm telling guys this,
I
but
have 3
essentially,
sisters, and I know they play with hair, but that's not.
yeah,
anything
like I
different.
was just playing around and like I thought it would be fun to like. At the time, it was like. Can't explain what kind of era it was on Instagram if you weren't there, but it was like the era of like 7 different braids in your hair and like it was just wild.
when
it
they
was
have
a wild
like
world.
the beads in the hair.
It wasn't just the beads. It was like over accessorized braiding,
How
crazy
many kinds of
updos.
braids exist?
So many.
Oh
You'd
my
be
gosh.
shocked. There was a time when it was like a challenge for me. I was like, how many braids can I learn? I would go on YouTube and I would like learn all these things. Completely useless. I don't use any of it. But
How many braids do you know how to make?
I don't know anymore. Maybe like for sure 3.
Oh,
Like
okay, fine.
offhand?
I thought it was like
No, but it used to be more. That's what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
fine.
I used to go online and like learn all these weird ones.
Did you ever mess around with those like the rubber band bracelets you'd make with your fingers? That kind of braiding. You know what I'm talking about? Or no?
Lanyard.
No,
You're talking
they
about
have
lanyard?
lanyards, but then they also had like these, like the loom. You would make the.
No, but I was very into lanyard,
Mm.
like in
I
camp.
think everyone was into land.
Did boys do lanyard?
No, I
When
had
you
to
get-
shoot on it.
When you get bored in camp, somebody pushes one towards you and teaches you how to do it. But
So good, like the box one.
Yeah, the
so,
box one.
So satisfying.
I think I was the only weird kid that was
I-
like chewing on lanyard.
Yeah, I definitely didn't eat it, but I definitely like built like those lanyard things.
in camp, if someone
Anywho.
who paid me $10, I'd eat anything.
Yeah. Okay.
At that point, was it uncommon for anyone in your circles to be starting Instagram accounts?
I only knew maybe like 1 or 2 people, and Instagram wasn't a business.
And
it was
to make
like
a
purely
public
for
account,
fun.
And your account was public, or is
I
it like
think
a
so.
private account?
I think it was public right away. I just was like, whatever.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
account was like private, like when it was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was just
Okay.
friends.
It was
Nobody had
also
a
like
public
not as
account.
big. Like there wasn't as many people on the platform. Now it feels like endless.
And now it's funny when people have I find it funny when people have a personal Instagram now, because
Yeah.
like nothing wrong with it. It's just like interesting.
I
'cause it's,
actually
like,
have one.
No,
I
it's just
shouldn't put
cool.
that out there because people are gonna like
they're
go
gonna
follow
stalk
me.
you down. Yeah, exactly. But I feel
But-
like it's just so because like Instagram is like the complete opposite of what it was meant to be.
You know what it is? You know what? Actually, I don't mind. I actually do have a personal account, and I really use it as kind of like I wrote on it like life in pictures, and I literally use it almost like digital diary style.
Okay.
I don't write things on it, but like I'll compile like just like a photo dump and I'll drop it on my own account just so I can like look back. I think it's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that like I wouldn't post publicly, and so I use it for like family and friends and like my kids. I don't know.
And so
The
cute.
photo dumping
Yeah.
is such an interesting phenomenon. It's like we
I love it.
It's
we
super
had this
trending.
whole month, and here's food. Here's a random selfie of me.
It's so good. It's like a glimpse into my
I
life.
like it.
Yeah.
DJ and I once did one. Remember?
They're actually doing
That was a
now.
good
I was
one.
just reading this. They're doing photo dumps from like big brands.
Oh wow.
So like
Ooh.
you'll see like I don't know, like Revolve, which is like a huge clothing website, fashion website, and they'll do a photo dump. And you're like, what is happening? But people love it.
I'd love to see like random like CEOs of big companies do that. Like just Mike Zuckerberg.
They
just,
might
like,
they might start doing that. Honestly,
Right.
I
What
would
do
love to
you
see
like-
the Zooks.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be crazy.
You know?
I'd want to see that.
Like, what were you up to?
Yeah.
What do you like about Instagram and that whole social media side of it in general?
So I always was just super into like I hate the word now because it's so overused, but I was super into aesthetics always. It's like built into my personality. I don't know if okay, you guys are guys,
I
but
know-
like
I know what you
zodiac
mean.
signs, okay?
For sure.
Big eye roll. Okay.
No, big eye roll, I know, but I will tell you, it's like built into my DNA. Like everything around me has to be how I like it, not in like an aggressive way, but like
What's
I
the
just
sign?
appreciate being in like an organized, clean, aesthetically pleasing space.
What's your sign that makes
I'm a Taurus.
Okay, so can you educate all of us on our signs?
I
Do you
can
know
try,
by
but
the months?
I'm not like well
Okay.
versed.
Yeah, the basics.
Okay, you can tell me what your signs are, and then I'll see what happens.
Okay. I'm a Scorpio.
I don't have any friends that are Scorpios.
There we
Capricorn.
go.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's
Capricorn,
right.
No, oh my god, this is so unusual.
Sagittarius.
Capricorn sounds very tasty. It sounds
Yeah, by the
like
way,
a,
it sounds like a
spice,
popcorn
a
flavor.
nutmeg, a Capricorn.
Look at that.
Sounds like a
Capricorn
cappuccino.
flavor. Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not familiar with
Two
any
pumps
of your
of Capricorn.
signs. A lot of my friends are either the same sign as me, and I'm married to a Pisces, which he is literally the most. A Pisces is like highly emotional, super creative side only.
Interesting. He fits the
Hello,
bill.
he fits the bill. Like if you opened a dictionary, he'd be like right there.
Interesting. What are
Like-
you, DJ?
Sagittarius.
I gotta look that up.
Gesundheit.
I've gotten so many different like.
Have you
it
guys
means
like
this. It means
been
that.
on dates with people that asked you this?
They ask
Really?
you, but what? I
Girls
don't
are
know.
into this shit.
Girls are they're into it, but it's like how much do they know about it? It's like I don't know.
On,
Okay.
If somebody
Well,
cares too much,
anyway.
on a similar note, manifestation. I heard
Okay.
you talk about this on Kale and My Teeth.
What did
There
I
was some
say?
manifestation. It wasn't anything super specific,
Okay.
but there are people that talk about manifestation and there are people that don't talk about manifestation. So I just wanted to know where you stand on manifestation at
I
this
think
point.
I like it to be very subtle.
Okay.
I don't like to talk about my manifestations so much. But then when they happen, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
You're like low key about it.
Yeah, like I'm not like a journaling type. I don't like journal my manifestations. Maybe I should. I don't know.
have you manifested anything that you have today?
You know what's really funny? Sometimes, like just on a whole, because like I've had like this weird trajectory in my life, like I'll sit back and I'm like, this is so weird. How did I get here? But like really, this was probably where I imagined myself in a lot of ways.
It's weird when people ask you, where do you want to be a year from today?
Right.
I don't even know, but
Right.
sometimes when it's a year from last year, you're like, okay, I wanted to be here.
So like when I think about like 8 to 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, actually, like I think I do have everything I need and everything I've wanted, which is like cool.
That's cool.
That's great.
When
Yeah.
you first started on Instagram, what was it like? First of all, just on the platform in general, and specifically for you in your life, were there people reaching out to you? Was anyone seeing it?
So I think because I was just so like chill about it, I would just post anything. I feel like being over curated is sometimes like, you know, I even see from myself on the people that I follow, when it's over curated, I just start to lose interest.
Yeah.
I'm
What
like,
do you mean by over curated?
like when it just feels either too salesy, or it feels like you spent so much time thinking about this post, or if it feels like you planned this post 3 months ago, I'm bored. Like I'm bored, I don't care.
It feels too forced, you're saying?
Like
No,
if
it's not forced. Like I think that they worked hard on their content. It's not forced. And I think if you are a content creator, I hope it comes naturally to you, because otherwise it's just like stressful. But when it feels like too much, like
I hear what you're
can't
saying.
even like fully explain it, but like it feels too planned out. It has to feel a little bit like not just to use the word organic. I feel like these words are so overused
Authentic,
these days.
maybe?
Genuine.
If it
Yeah,
really
they are
feels
very
genuine, you'll
overused
know.
word. Right.
And I think that's what people like a little bit about my page is like, I'm like unserious. That's the word you
Yeah.
used. Is like, I just don't take it that serious. And obviously that comes from like life stuff. It's not supposed to be that serious.
If we could get more into,
Yeah.
I think, and maybe it's not what you were saying at all, but at least for me, I see a lot of people wanting to be perceived as effortless, and they're spending so much time wanting to be effortless. And it's like,
Yeah.
Putting a lot of effort.
we
into
know
being effortless.
this person just walked in and spent a long time just thinking about how they were gonna, like at the Met Gala, anyone showing up to that thing pretending like they just ended up there and didn't care at all.
Right.
We know you did.
It's like we know it took a lot of effort.
Yeah, so I think
guess
it's getting
that's
old.
what I'm kind of saying on like me losing interest in, on accounts that I've followed, turning into like a very professional feeling. When your content starts to feel like you are trying to prove something, like you're trying to prove that you don't care so much, or you're trying to prove that you're so like laid back, or honestly, I would rather you tell me that you're like the opposite of chill. Because in fact, that's actually way more funny and way more real. Like I would rather you tell me that you are unhinged and a perfectionist. Because I would follow for that.
I feel
Really?
like a lot of influencer culture is very like it's kind of filled with that, and I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of it is very much like what I have a hard time with. Like I for example, like I follow influencers too, but like camera influencers or
Yeah.
like travel influencers, like stuff like that. But like for me, I feel like there's a certain value that I'm getting out of watching them. I feel like that's the whole point of influencer culture, versus which it should be really. But
I think for women, we follow for aesthetics and entertainment.
Got it.
Sometimes you follow for learning, though.
I want to know
Sometimes.
more about the aesthetic part. Like, what does it mean to be an aesthetic person? Like, is it everything in my kitchen will be this color? Everything in my bedroom will be
Depends
of
on the
this,
season.
Of this theme. We're in
So-
autumn. We're gonna have an autumn themed dinner. What is it like?
I guess so. It's like, let's say I'm super into like tablescaping on my page.
What's tablescaping?
Tablescaping is like planning out this like extravagant looking table. It could be for anything. In my case, I usually gear it towards the holidays, Jewish holidays, because that's when women kind of like get in the mood to like, dress their table up for their family, their guests,
You got the
having
runner,
guests over, whatever it
the
is.
centerpiece.
It's like we got, the flowers and the tablecloth, and do we want to like put out some candles and napkin rings, and like these are all things that mean nothing to you, and I don't even know if you guys notice, but it just like sparks joy.
And this is content that you like to watch, but do you make content
I
on
love it.
tablescaping as well?
Yeah, sometimes.
I do
I
want to
even
talk.
watch back my own content on
Right.
tablescaping sometimes.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure in like coming up with these like interesting ideas like all the time. I mean, content creators experience that altogether.
Yeah, you experience like a burnout where you feel like you're constantly giving and not receiving.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess so.
So there's a part in those tablescapes, especially. I think that'll bring it out well.
Yeah.
Where, let's say, average Shabbos table or on a Yontif, the women will be like, "Oh wow, the table," and then the men come in and they're like, "Oh, a table, great."
They're like, where's the food?
Where's the food?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So what do you see? What's the point of it? What about it do you think
I think it
is
sets
worth
the
the time
vibe.
it takes?
It sets the vibe. And like as someone who works in social media and helps others with their social media, selling a feeling is really everything now. So setting your table in a certain way gives people a certain feeling and they want to like buy into that.
What's the feeling you're trying to sell?
Depends what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What's the holiday? What time of year is it?
I feel like I'm a person who tries a lot to be aesthetic, but it's like a pathetic attempt. What's like some advice on how to like actually make it like actually authentic? I mean, not authentic, to make it aesthetic.
That's a good question.
Or any
Do you
rules?
know like
There's a visual component and I feel like an
yeah,
emotional
it's very
component.
visual. I think it also has to again like match your personality.
Like you saw my design, like it wasn't very aesthetic.
It was
it
fine.
worked. It was
It was fine.
functional. It was very. But how
It
do you
was
make
a
it?
fine graphic.
I know, but to make a brand and like to make a
To make a brand,
page-
you have to stay within your branded colors. That's like the biggest thing. Consistency is what every single consumer wants to see on some level. So usually it depends on I would say colors, having some sort of like lean in. So let's say you're someone who appreciates things that are more modern. You're someone who appreciates things that are more minimal. You appreciate something a little more maximalist. There are people who love like a ton of color and busy. And then there's people who love vintage. I feel like that kind of is where I go. Like,
these are all
but
things,
I switch them
yeah.
up. Like,
these seem to be things that are all extensions of something deeper. I think, and this is content creation. Like I kind of just keeps going back to this general, like lifestyle. Is that what I'm finding more and more. For example, when it comes to cinematography or even tablescaping, like there are certain things that just can't be taught. You can get better at it. Like you can start from like a certain place to like a really good place. But you have to be born with something. Like I feel like there's something that is deeply ingrained in creative people and people who have like aesthetic.
It's part of your DNA.
Yeah, literally.
well, yeah, it's funny because I mean, I started out in a beauty industry, and then I kind of ended up like feeling burnt out at some point, and then I kind of naturally turned to content creation and all these different projects that I work on, and they really all go hand in hand. That's the truth. The issue for me was that I didn't feel like I could stay in the beauty industry long term, because a lot of the beauty industry right now is, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it becomes monotonous to the point where I actually felt like I was doing nothing all day.
Right.
Like I would go to work and I love my job. Loved it, love my clients, best vibes. Like a wedding day, it's so fun. And I love seeing like the transformation of my client. Like that's the best part, and like making them feel good.
The before and after reels are always
Before
fun.
and after is fire, right? But the issue becomes when you're working, I'm very like niched down. I'm working in the Jewish community.
Right.
Doing brides, I'm in the same locations, monthly here and there. It's not a lot of variety. It's not like I'm working, on fashion editorial shoots in LA or like for Vogue. So after a while, it kind of felt like I was doing the same thing day in and day out, which is so funny because when I started out, I felt like I was, having this like creative juice flowing all day. But then after a couple of years, I started to hit a point where it felt like I was doing the same thing day in, day out. And I think I just naturally turned to content creation because it gave me a place to like exert all my energy that I wasn't using. And so it actually gave me like space, and it became kind of like a hobby, and then I monetized. So it kind of has to come to you naturally in order to monetize, honestly. You can't force it.
It's true.
You can't force, that creative energy.
When was it that you leaned into content creation? Like what time,
During
what
COVID.
age? Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
you started in
2020.
2016.
Good time.
And then from 2016 to 2020, you were building.
I was just doing hair, weddings. I was working all over. And then COVID hit, and we were kind of grounded. And I remember it was like everyone was making like tie-dye sweatshirts. That was like a hot moment for
I
us.
saw that on
I
Instagram.
saw those
I saw that as a
videos.
trend.
Yeah,
that was a
like
thing.
make your own
Yeah.
tie-dye sweatshirts.
There's some really good ones. They tie it with the rubber bands.
Yeah,
a
they
million
went crazy
rubber
with the
bands.
tie-
What was your
tie-dye.
favorite COVID activity?
Honestly, I thrived in COVID. Is that a bad thing to say?
I
don't
love
think so.
COVID too. I heard it hates
thrived,
it.
and I think that it's like a bad thing. Like people think back and they're like, "Oh, COVID, we're gonna have to tell our great grandchildren about it."
You thrived.
I'm like, I was my best self.
How so?
Okay, first of all, I'm not an extrovert, so win-win. I never had to like go socialize.
Right.
I was able to recharge all the time. I was able to like wake up in the morning. I was working virtually, like working on projects for my Instagram because that's what I turned to. Then I would like go on a run. I would come home. I would make myself a nutritious meal. I would go back to work. I would go to sleep early. Like,
You didn't
guys,
get.
I was
you didn't
living my
get-
best life.
You didn't
Yeah.
get like bored. Were you doing the same thing every day? Did you not get bored?
Variations of it, yeah.
We talk about this a lot on the podcast because most of our guests, if not pretty much all of our guests, are individuals who are successful who did not follow a traditional career path. And it's particularly interesting in your case when there's a pivot, because it's one thing to embark on a journey that, like doing hair and stuff like that.
Right.
Like people do it. It's a thing. It's a
Yeah.
real career. But it's not classified as a traditional career. But then you completely pivoted to another one, a
Yes.
separate career that, I mean, like you said, there are similarities, there are some similar aspects, but in practice, a completely different way to spend your time.
Yeah.
So what is something that you've learned about pivoting from, especially when your reputation is very much aligned to the previous job that you're doing?
So it was actually really hard, and I was like very nervous to start sharing other things online because I didn't want to like start a whole separate page. It just felt like too much work. I was like, why should I? And then I discovered that I had like terrible, what's the word?
I can put out words, but I don't want to put anything in your mouth.
No. I have terrible imposter syndrome.
I was going to say that word, but I wanted you to say it.
I like didn't even know I was feeling it until I literally Googled it. I was like, why am I unwell from this idea?
Did you hear of imposter syndrome first and you're like, do I have this? Or
I think I read about it at the same time that it was happening, and I was like, that's what's wrong with me.
Because of an identity shift?
Yeah, I was like, who am I? Are people confused? Should I care? Some people were definitely like, what's happening? And I would say, though, 90% of people were like, okay, cool.
That's an interesting point, is that, do you know Alex Hormozy? Have you ever heard of Alex Hormozy?
You know him personally?
No. He's whatever. He's a big YouTube guy. He gives a lot of practical business advice. He's really cool.
He's one of those gurus.
Okay.
He's
I don't
like a
watch
guru,
YouTube anymore.
Good for you. I don't. The thing that he says a lot is, thank you. Need that. Is that he gives like harsh truths. Like one of his harshest truths is no one cares.
Yeah.
And that's like a crazy thing because like you think that everyone is like looking at you and like everyone's like, oh, Penina is a hairstylist. She does this. And like if you switch that, or if you do something, or even if you're not doing a great job at that, or whatever it is, you think all eyes are on you. When in actuality, like there are people who care about you, of course, like thank God. But people are always more concerned about the things that are going on in their lives than they are about in your life. But that should give you a lot of momentum and empowerment to pursue what you want to do because, I have less to lose in that case.
Yeah, I definitely live by that now.
I have a question. How do you know if you have imposter syndrome? Because like I've Googled it plenty of times. I don't know if I have a reason to be an imposter.
I think if you're Googling it a lot of times, you probably have imposter syndrome.
No, but I Google everything. Like I have, this thing on my hand, so I'm Googling, what is this? Like I Google everything.
Honestly, you should speak to your ChatGPT.
I did do ChatGPT therapy.
Okay, good.
And
I did it yesterday.
I don't know if it's gaslighting me about problems or if it's real. Like
it's probably real.
Do you speak to it? Do you like have the
I actually last night had like a kitchen question, cooking question, and I was like panicking because it was delicate. And I went to my ChatGPT and I literally wrote, I am freaking out.
Yeah.
I am freaking out, and it was like, no, don't worry, I got you.
What do you mean, like a kitchen question? Like something was breaking?
I was baking
kosher?
sourdough.
Oh.
And I did something by mistake, and then I was really tired, and I was like, oh
you
my
killed
God,
the starter?
I think I messed up. Yeah, I
my
thought
gosh.
I messed up really bad.
That's like...
It was bad.
Really
I was
scary.
freaking out, because like, I don't know, Shabbos is coming, and I ChatGPT'd. I was like, I am freaking out. I need you to calm me down because did I kill my starter? And I wrote exactly what I did. I was like, this is the events that transpired. This is what it looks like now. You can even send it pictures. And it literally wrote back.
Yeah.
It was like, no, don't worry. Like, here are the reasons why you didn't kill your starter. Like, don't worry about it. Do you want me to give you a solution to fixing it?
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely.
So what
really
happened?
cool.
You saved the starter?
It's to be determined. I'll see when I
We'll
get
see.
home.
Yeah, it takes time, right?
I have a
time.
question. You make ramen a lot. And
Yes.
I respect ramen. I made
really wanna
ramen
get
last
into
night. I tried to make a soft-boiled egg, and I failed. It was
What
raw.
did you do?
So I didn't have enough water in the pot, so that was kind of an issue. So
Okay, there
half
you
the
go.
egg was kind of sticking out from the water.
Oh,
so
that's bad. Fill
leaned
the whole pot.
I leaned the pan over. So first mistake, and I didn't have any ice, so I just used the water from my Brita that was cold-ish, and then put it in the freezer.
So
And I thought maybe I cook it for less time because I don't have ice, and then it was raw. How do I make a good jammy soft-boiled egg?
okay, first of all, you need more water.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be really bubbling and boiling. Like, boil it 7 minutes and 30 seconds right into the ice with water. There needs to be ice. I'm sorry. Get yourself an ice maker. The ice stops the cooking so that it's the perfect consistency.
We only have so much freezer space.
If you undercook it, that's bad too. Don't do that.
I just put it in the soup. I don't know if it was a bad move, but
So you ate a raw egg?
No. I put it in the soup and I let it like boil up. So like
In the soup?
egg drop soup.
I guess.
We should make a cooking channel where we just do everything wrong.
I'm not like a bad cooker, but like I just
It's
don't
kind
know.
of like rage baiting on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
They
thing.
have people that do that.
I'm sure they
True.
do.
What else do you use ChatGPT for?
Right now, I've been using it a lot when I don't have patience to respond to something sometimes.
Nice.
I will literally upload it and say, in a warm and kind tone, please tell me how to respond to this person.
Like
It's
on
usually-
WhatsApp or emails?
Anything. Usually WhatsApp, actually.
Email has
Follow
it
up
built
with,
in.
Be more personable. Do you ever do that?
No.
No, I've
'Cause
done
I don't care that
sometimes.
much.
I just found out about Gemini's built-in like email responder. Oh my gosh.
Is it good?
It's insane.
I've never used it.
I was just like, just tell this person yes, and I'll get back to them later. Like that's all I said, and it just created.
ChatGPT
like,
is the future.
Do you think people don't know if they're getting a ChatGPT response? Like, is
I don't
it
think they know
offensive?
because I always go in and edit it.
If you got one,
I don't just send it off. I do read it and edit it down.
if you
Or
got
fix it or adjust.
if you got one and you're like, I use ChatGPT. I know this is ChatGPT. Are you offended? Are you like, would you respond?
No,
Would you?
like mad respect.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Your
Straight
time
up.
is more valuable.
But they're reaching out to you. It's a personal message. It should be at least.
I don't know. Listen, the amount of times that companies have reached out to me on Instagram and on email and written the wrong influencer's name is too funny.
That's
And you respond to it?
hilarious.
Like I know who they're trying to reach. Like I'll read it and they're sending the same message to people, but they forget to change the name. Yeah.
I've done that too.
I'm always like, oh, sorry, it's not so and so. I don't even like pretend. I don't even like give them the grace of pretending. I just say like, oh, I think you
Yeah.
meant to send this to someone
When
else.
chat just came out, I once emailed somebody with, hey, and then it gives you the brackets. Name.
Oh God, you didn't fill in the bracket.
name.
Yeah, and then
Big rookie mistake.
And they
Yeah.
responded, hey, name.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Starting an agency. Is it an agency? What would you consider it? What you're building
Yeah,
right now?
I mean, we're basically a creative marketing group, so
So what is that? What does building it look like? Especially,
it's a lot of work.
what are the details of it? The nitty gritty.
So a lot of it actually in the beginning stages, because it's new, I feel like is really figuring out what people need from me. That's actually like our biggest question when I get on like a brand call, let's say. I don't even start with what we can do. It's more like, what do you need? Because I feel like it really does vary depending on what it is, service, product, whatever. We need to know what they need the most. And I definitely think I think we've figured out over time so far what it is people are looking for. And if it works, it works. And sometimes I'll tell people like, yeah, we're not what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you don't need me.
Do
I
you
told that to
find
people
it
before.
more creatively fulfilling than the hair? Because I would have thought it's such a natural thing to keep doing. Maybe
So
send
I
other
s-
people to do
yeah.
it for you, but I would have thought just stick with that. So why is it so much better?
Like send other people to do hair.
yeah.
You have the
People don't
setup.
want that. They don't want it. They want me.
They want you.
They don't want anyone else. I'll tell you like the real, like, I guess I'll tell you like what my thinking is and why like I've branched out in so many directions, which I'm totally okay with. Like I'm one of those people that does 18 things and that's fine. Like passive income. Like how could I be a hairstylist for the rest of my life only, realistically, living a Jewish life with children, tuition, a house, wanting to give my kids the best life ever. And like I just have really big goals. And so me being in a position where I physically have to be somewhere at all times to make an income is just not feasible in the long run. And so I would rather do this now when I'm young
Right.
and build myself up and figure out where I'm going than make the mistake of staying in place and feeling like maybe I missed something.
Was it just that when you started hairstyling, you weren't thinking about those long-term
Definitely
effects?
not. Definitely not. I actually think that in like the school system today, we're not really taught what the reality is.
What do you mean by that?
Like, we don't go to high school and they're like, okay, so one day you're going to have to pay your mortgage
Right.
with insurance on top of it and your lease and your phone bill and a $150,000 tuition bill. So,
I feel
you know,
like a
you
school's-
just, and then they'll be like, okay, so there's like two camps. There's like the camp of, you know, we're gonna send you to seminary, and then you should marry a boy who only wants to like learn for 2 years and then just like kind of like figures it out, and like we're not sure what you're gonna do, but you'll
Figure it
support him, you'll figure it out, no problem. I was never ever in that camp because I never saw that growing up anyway.
that
Is
camp
that
working?
Yeah.
Is that a real? Yeah. Is that even like a real thing?
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
I know it's a real thing, but is it working? Like, do you think it's working?
Which part?
That guy learns, woman supports the family.
No, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
It's completely unnatural.
What if the husband was the father and like the stay-at-home
Well-
dad, and then the wife
More
was
unnatural.
working?
Why on earth would I want my husband to stay home and be the dad?
I don't know. If you wanted to
No,
work.
I want to be home
Let's say
with
not
my
you-
kids
not
that
you
I
personally.
birthed, and I want my husband to go to work and support us.
So why is that push in seminaries?
I honestly don't know. I would never. I mean, never say never, but I would never let my daughters do that.
There are a lot of families that
Like, you should not be
have-
upholding the family.
That's
it's
not
a
your
man's
responsibility.
job, and men want to be. Don't men want to be men? Am
Yeah,
I
of
wrong?
course. It's a thing. Yeah.
think you're generally right, yeah.
In
I don't
general.
know, but as a man,
yeah.
I'd also want to be a father.
No, for sure. But
There's a balance.
and there's a balance, but also
Mm-hmm.
men don't want to cook dinner.
Men.
And they
I
don't want
love-
to drive the kids to school all the
What if I
time.
find
love cooking?
fulfillment
What if I
in
like
providing?
cooking dinner? What if I like?
That's awesome.
We'll get you
You're
a husband.
super helpful husband.
But the woman cannot support the family.
I think they
Even,
can, but
even
I think
if the father is doing,
I'm gonna get like skewered for this, but
it's
I happen to
fine.
agree with
It's
you,
fine.
yeah.
listen,
I could get
there
screwed
are
for this.
definitely.
I don't
wo-
think you have the hot take here. I
No,
think
no,
Usher
Usher
I
has
has
the hot
I have
take,
the
yeah.
hot take here.
Listen. Yeah, of course, a woman is like, we're very powerful, and I think we can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The question really is, should we?
Right.
And by the way, mad respect. I have friends that are doctors, lawyers, like real estate agents that are super successful. I have friends that have big jobs, okay? And actually, they look at me and they're like, how are you doing this?
Right.
Like,
What-
you
what-
are actually building a business and you're a freelancer and this and that. But at the end of the day, when I think about it globally, I don't think we should be pushing women to be the breadwinners.
What are their husbands doing?
Some of them have husbands that are matching their energy.
Oh, so do you
And
think?
they're both like super, professionals, and like. Then I have some where I'm actually not even sure what their husbands do. No idea. But
Stay-at-home husband?
no, I don't know any stay-at-home husbands.
Can we shift the topic to something similar? I want to
Yeah.
know do you feel like this is something, what you're doing right now, is it something that you feel like obviously you have to do, but is it more of like is the primary motivator, I'm enjoying this, or is the primary motivator like, I need to do this? Like, would you rather not need to work and just stay at home? Or do you feel like this is a version of your life that you prefer?
I think in theory, I say that I would want to not work and be home. Like, every girl's dream is to be like a soccer mom, Pilates,
Really?
in a Range Rover,
sounds so
holding her
boring.
iced coffee. Of course. Okay? I don't know many women that don't want to do that. Like, we want to go to lunch with our friends and relax. We're in our feminine era.
Right.
Okay.
Men are the opposite for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in theory, I want to do that. But I also know myself, and I know that I have a lot of energy to give. And so I know that I'm doing the right thing.
I have one
Yeah.
last question about the I don't know, gender roles maybe.
Okay.
But do you think it's coming from a religious place that the woman should who's pushing women to work?
I feel like we send girls to high schools very often, Beis Yaakovs
Who's we?
in specific,
Beis Yaakov.
as a community. We send our girls to a Beis Yaakov or a similar like, and we're definitely, I would say, or at least 12 years ago, we're definitely trained to work hard, and there's not so much focus on like the home or like what you're gonna do when you have kids. Like, you know what's really funny? I actually didn't have like a home ec class in high school But one of my friends was in a different school that had a home ec class, and like they would learn how to like bake and like do all these like fun things.
What is this class? Home
Home ec.
I feel like we have YouTube and
yeah.
Instagram now.
Yeah.
Who needs home
So
ec?
like this is 10 years ago. So like you couldn't just like open your Instagram and
You
learn
guys
how to
had
bake a
home ec?
cookie.
Okay,
No, of
fine.
course you're
Oh, sure, we
you're
went to high
dudes.
school.
Okay, fine.
You're guys, but like in many schools that are
That's an
not Jewish,
actual
they
class?
actually have that. They learn how to like they used to at least. They used to learn how to cook.
Is that the class where they give you the baby doll and they tell you to watch this?
No, I
No,
think that's
it's always
like
cooking.
I think that's something else.
It's always
okay,
food
fine.
related home ec.
So right, it's like a food related class, and I didn't have that. And when I first got married, I realized that I only knew how to make like eggs and pasta. I swear.
This is
things
a
I
random
can't
thing.
make.
I feel like a lot of it also has to do with government grants because the government is kind of pushed towards like a place where like everyone should start working. Everyone gets a
I
career.
guess, maybe.
And it's just like we're only going to send you money if like you know like home ec.
Maybe.
Is home ec even
I
a
don't
thing
know
in
how.
like public
I
schools?
do
don't
not
think so.
presume to know how it works, but I just think it's interesting because you're kind of like thrown into life as a girl when you get married, and suddenly it's like, oh wait, I totally didn't calculate when I said that I wanted to be like a full-time physical therapist or whatever you become, that I was also gonna have to go home and cook dinner for like 5 kids and make Shabbos and Yontif and host people and go to shul and be involved in my community and this and that. You're not really mentally prepared for that amount of juggle.
Yeah.
You kind of have to learn it on the job, and some people are either really good at it or they're struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sympathetic for. I mean, like my wife and I are expecting, and so we're like,
B'shara tova.
thank you. It's like we're like, like just this past week, we solidified like a nanny share or whatever, and it's just like, and like at the same time, my wife is also like figuring out her field work for next year, and then she's gonna start working, and it's like for me, it's like, yes, I'm providing a lot more for the household, and that's my expectation, my responsibility. That's what I find meaningful as well. So I'm happy about it. But for her, the fact like she also has to do a fraction, like not even a fraction, like a good chunk of that, while also being a mom, and we're paying extra for a nanny when like I'd rather she be home. It's like, but like at the same time, like there's just so much out of your control nowadays. It's like you need to like it's like a math game at some point, especially
It's wild.
as Orthodox Jews.
Yeah, there's so many hats.
Was there ever a point where you considered staying at home?
I think after I had my last baby last year.
Oh yeah, how many kids do you have, by the way?
Okay, so okay, complex question. I have one daughter from my first marriage,
Okay.
and my husband has 2 boys from a previous marriage, and we have 1 child together.
Beautiful.
She was born last year.
Oh.
I would say after I had her, I suddenly like forgot what it was like to be home with a baby, and I forgot that I can't just jump back into full-time job without help for said baby. And babies and small kids need consistency. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just gonna go back to work in a few weeks, and I work very full-time. Who's putting this baby to sleep?
Right.
Like,
Someone needs to do it.
I'm not there.
Right.
So I think that's when I started to realize that my long-term plans, or at least what I call like my 5-year plan, it needed to start moving because it was only a matter of time before I was going to drop a ball. So.
In your household now, it's a very unique household because there are a lot of people where one spouse is a influencer or one spouse is a entertainer in some way, but you have both.
Yeah.
So what is that like for your kids, and how are you sheltering them from it? Are they becoming entertainers? What
They're
do you do with
definitely
that?
not becoming entertainers.
How old are they now?
Okay, so our oldest he's 13. The next one is 11. And then my daughter is 7, and the baby's 1. I would say we're not sheltering them. Like, we're super open about it. They know what we do for a living. I'm saying, nothing like that. None of them have Instagram or any of that, obviously.
Okay.
They're just too young anyways.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, I don't think they're so interested.
Really?
Only my daughter. Sometimes, she likes
if
to
they
like
wanted
pop in
it-
a video with Aryeh, and then she'll be like, how many views did I get?
Yeah. They're locally
But she
interested.
doesn't really know what it means. It just sounds exciting.
Right.
If they told you today they wanted an account, would you open one up for
No.
them?
No.
Is there like an age limit, or you just don't want to do it?
Like, after you graduate high school, if you want, you can make your own account.
Do you think it's not good for kids to have it in high school? Be on social media?
Definitely not. We didn't have it until the end of high school. Instagram became like big when I was in 12th grade, and that's when I opened my account. It was like the end of 12th grade. But I can't imagine going through high school now with like TikTok and Instagram and all these things. Like I am aware that it's crazy for kids in like a vulnerable age.
Do your kids' friends at the same age have accounts on Instagram, and is that like a pressure point?
I don't think that they do.
Really?
But their friends do know from their parents that like, oh, I saw your mom on Instagram.
Oh, okay, fine.
Or like, I saw your stepmom. Like,
That's so
it's very
interesting.
funny.
So that's more
fun.
what I'm talking about. That's a unique
they're
experience for them
definitely
that no
aware
one
of
else
it.
has.
Right.
Yeah. In terms of Aryeh, I would say it's funny because we actually, like, he has a lot of concerts in a year. He has a lot of gigs in a year. First of all, I don't go to most of them. I'm usually home because someone should be home. And second of all, my kids really don't go to any of them. Sometimes, like, you know, once or twice a year, they'll go. And, like, the last time I took them, this is, like, Ari's going to kill me, but, like, the last time I took them to a concert, they get bored.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like, they just want
Because
him
they
to be
live
their
with-
dad. Like,
Yeah.
they're not really so interested in our jobs, nor the fact that other people know who we are or what we're doing, or that people would go to a concert to hear music.
Do they hear him singing in the house? And
Yeah.
That's definitely like a healthier mindset, like for the
Like,
kid.
they're just disinterested, which I think is good.
Yeah, they just want to, you know.
But there's
Yeah.
also first of all, the idea of other people having the right to comment on like your parents' life, or even
Yeah,
not
I
even
wonder.
even without the kids, even just for you, having all these people commenting on your life, some positive, some negative. How big of a piece in your regular day behavior, any decisions you're making, are those comments playing?
So, okay, I want to start off that I generally don't get a lot of crazy comments about, you know, the way I live my life, really. In terms of how it affects me day to day, like, will I think twice before, like, going to a very public place? Maybe a little. Like, I'll just be like, oh, I should probably not go out looking like garbage. But that's, like, pretty much where the buck stops. Because at the end of the day, I really don't care so much.
do you feel like you're held to a higher standard? Like you can't be going to the grocery store.
No.
Like you see some celebrities and they go to the grocery store like in hat, sunglasses, all black.
Yeah, no, that
And
I
then
don't care about.
Some celebrities are going out in the whole fit. Like
That
they,
I don't care about.
This might be a can of worms, but I want to hear your perspective on the five towns in general and that whole community. Did you
Okay.
grow up in the five towns, Crystal?
I did not.
Where'd you
I grew up in Jersey.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where
about?
Jersey, Passaic.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Oh, so did like you grew up like I guess.
Well, my
I'm not gonna
parents
say
are
more or
not.
less
My
relative,
parents
it's
are
relative,
not
but-
from there,
Okay,
but we moved there when I was young.
Okay.
I lived there my whole life. I only went to elementary school there. I went to a different high school out of town for high school in the city. And then I only moved to the five towns 5 years ago when we got married.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm
then-
new.
So what's your take on the five towns?
You know
'Cause-
what's funny?
yeah.
When I was dating, or like people were making suggestions to me,
Mm-hmm.
like my number one thing, I was like, I would never move to the five towns. That's of course what I said because
There's
now
a
I
lot of
live in the
people that
five
say that.
towns.
It's true. Yeah, my wife's the same.
My dream was like, oh, I'm gonna move to Jersey. I'm gonna stay here forever.
Yeah.
Realistically, where I'm at now, it just wouldn't make sense.
Right.
But I do love it. I love Jersey.
You like where you grew up in Jersey or Jersey in general?
I like where I grew up. I think in the moment when you're like an angsty kid, you like don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back, I'm like, this is a nice place to raise kids.
Got it. So
You know?
after moving into the five towns with all probably the stereotypes in your mind, do you feel like a lot of the stereotypes are really true? Because on the outside, no, because the
No, it's a
outside is
good
very
question.
different from the inside. I think on the
Yeah.
outside things are perceived in a certain way. and
I think from the
inside-
outside it looks a lot more dramatic than
Yeah.
it actually is. And actually, even my mom says that. Like, she'll come visit and she's like, I don't know why everyone makes the five towns sound so fancy.
Right.
It's very normal.
I don't
have
know
a lot
where
of
they got that
friends-
reputation. She's like, these people aren't fancy.
Did your perspective shift after you moved?
I think so, because I think I met a lot of like good people,
Just normal
and I
people,
loved where I was living, and I had good neighbors and good friends,
That's
and
awesome.
I don't know, it just feels like a huge mix to me. I feel like literally you could be modern Orthodox living next to a rabbi, and you might be best friends.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
I like that,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the sentiment is the opposite from
Yes.
everyone who does not live in the five towns.
of course.
Which is really
I
interesting.
think because they don't live there, they just see I don't even know what they see. What are they looking at? I'm not sure. Maybe they went to Central Avenue too many times.
It's
And
literally
like saw too many
where
fancy
else,
ladies.
Where else is anyone going when they're going to
Right,
the five
that's
towns?
true. I mean, there are other places.
I feel like it's just somebody's out there who's spreading anti-Five Towns propaganda.
Yeah.
And like
I
they
feel like
judge everybody.
It's been going on for years.
They
because
judge everybody,
I said
they
I
do
would never
this.
move there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they're just as judgy as any other Jewish community. They're just.
I think we're all the same when it
they
comes down
have
to it.
maybe better restaurants than other Jewish communities.
We have good food.
Very good food.
There's
Yeah.
a ramen place in Teaneck that just opened
I
up.
saw that.
I want to check it out.
I want to see if they can like make me gluten-free ramen.
Yeah, it's like around the corner from me. I'm really.
Oh, really?
How do you
Yeah.
make gluten-free sourdough? You're gluten-free, right?
I'm gluten-free.
How
Yeah.
do you do that?
Wait, yeah, what?
Yeah, so I actually am coming out with a step-by-step video guide about how to do it.
That's so cool.
It always sounds more intimidating than it actually is
Okay.
because you're thinking, how am I making bread without flour?
Oats, spelt, barley?
Isn't that
Spelt is
also
not
flour?
gluten-free.
Oh.
What
And
flours
oats are
would-
tricky.
Oats are.
Yeah, oats are tricky.
Okay.
They have to be certified gluten-free, and there's like cross-contamination. It's a whole thing.
So what is it made out of?
So it's made out of a blend, basically, a blend of flours, which you can buy, so it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
I grew my own starter, and I bake with it. It's super cool.
I love the sourdough culture.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
it's
No,
so
I'm a
cool.
sourdough mom.
I'm
a starter mom.
Never attempt to do it. I pray that my wife will start doing it one day.
Oh, I can
But,
send her
like-
starter, but like she might kill you.
No. Because I'm gonna go too crazy. I'm just gonna ask for it every single Shabbos.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best.
My
With
kids love it
dips,
too.
With this, I honestly, if it's just on Shabbos, I'm fine. 'Cause, like, with
Jewish
dips-
sourdough culture has really been it.
What's the
I
difference?
support it. What
What-
about pastrami challah? You know about this one?
No.
Pastrami challah?
There's
What
a
is
place in
that?
Five Towns. This is something I
No.
I put 5 towns in pastrami challah together. They make challah and they braid it with pastrami.
Where is this?
Somewhere in 5 towns. One of these.
I've never heard of it.
But it's fantastic. It's
You
the
don't know
best.
who's making it.
I think it's like Gray's or something, but I could be wrong.
That actually probably is accurate. That
But
sounds like something Grays would do.
it's
They're very
fantastic.
like jerky pastrami vibes.
What's the difference? What's the difference between Jewish sourdough culture and non-Jewish sourdough culture?
I think probably
Pas
Jewish
akum.
Jewish sourdough culture is like heavy on the timing, right? Because you want it ready for Shabbos.
Okay.
And so because sourdough needs a certain amount of hours, as a woman who is making Shabbos,
like another
you're
baby.
yeah.
Literally.
You're constantly calculating the hours. So let's say I
Right.
know that my sourdough needs 4 to 6 hours to rise, and then I need to make the bread, and then I do a stretch and folds, and it needs to rise again for 8 to 10 hours, and then it's got to proof in the fridge, and then it needs an hour to bake. So I'm constantly calculating the time from Wednesday night. I'm thinking about
You
Shabbos.
already lost me, by the way.
You know
After,
what?
like,
It's a
like
very,
2 steps
it's a
in, I'm
very
like, too
aesthetic
much.
craft. If
It's
you're
so
an
nice.
aesthetic person, I
Yep.
feel like
There you go.
sourdough is for you.
Yes.
If you're not, just buy it.
But that's also why, like the non-Jewish like content creator, I don't know why I said non-Jewish content creator, like content creators in general that
Koyim.
make sourdough, their reels are always so chill.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's also relaxing.
is it relaxing? I feel
My
like it's
brain
not.
like shuts off when I
Do you
make
make the
sourdough.
patterns like the?
Except last
Yeah.
night.
Oh wow.
Except for last night or 2 nights, whatever. Yeah.
Except for this morning when
This morning,
I had
yeah.
a sourdough emergency, but
Is it gonna be good for Shabbos?
let's see.
You'll have to keep us in the loop.
You have a very even-keeled personality, at least now with a lot of like just anything goes sort of
Yes.
energy. What, first of all, how do you think other people can learn from that and the positive sides of it? But also, what gets you pumped? When is it like
When
super
am I
energy,
like high energy?
super
Yeah.
excited?
I'm generally pretty, like you said, even-keeled, which I think most people describe me as when they meet me, and I think they're always a little surprised. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but I think in general, I went through a lot at a young age, went through like major life-altering things, and 5 years ago I got remarried, and then I became a stepmom, and then I was navigating that, which was like an entire journey in itself. And really, at the end of the day, I always say this, and my husband says it also, we're always like, nothing really matters.
Ooh, in a good
Like-
or bad way.
In a good way.
Explain.
Like, the small things don't trip me up that much.
Right.
Like, here and there, if I'm like feeling a little dramatic, I'll let it, just for like the fun of it. But like deep down, I'm like, I don't really care either way.
So what really matters to you in life?
What really matters to me is the health of my family and friends. Making sure that I'm being responsible and taking care of what I got to do. Real life stuff. you know, spending time with family and friends. Like, I'm huge on quality time.
Is that what's fun, or do you like to hang out? Like what activities, what things, hobbies, whatever it is?
Like, I
DJs,
love having family over Friday night. I love when my friends just come over to chill at home. Like, I don't even need to go out to a restaurant. Like, let's just hang out on the couch.
Nice.
Like, that's me. I feel like a lot of people today get like super tripped up on like the craziest things, and I saw it a lot when I was, you know, heavy working in the wedding industry. You know, like the
You'll
wrong
definitely see it there.
the wrong flower
Yeah.
color would like set people off.
Yeah.
And I think between that and like just life circumstances, I just kind of became super chill about things. And yeah, of course there are things in life that are gonna get me. And like, I'm not like this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are gonna be things that stress me out or that I'm gonna be, you know, a little ticked off about. But I just feel like I don't really hold on to it. And I do sometimes wish more people were like that, because the bad part about being, you know, a little more, I don't even know what's the word for it. Like, I'm
Like
just kind of like
intense, or-
laid back.
Okay.
The bad
So
part about it
chill.
is so chill.
So relaxed.
So relaxed. I'm not even so relaxed, by the way. I'm just kind of like,
Going with the flow.
yeah. I think people get tripped up and by these tiny things that like don't really matter, and I think that it's really connected to bigger things. But they're like letting that one thing kind of like let everything around them like explode.
It's super psychological.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was gonna say.
Why do you think they're going there? Why is a person seeing this tiny flower not there or cut the wrong way? Where are they? What's the dramatic extreme that they're taking it to? That all of a sudden it's this huge deal.
I don't know. Like I said, I usually think that there's something underlying that's the real problem, and this is just how it's coming out and presenting itself. I think sometimes it's like a funny thing, actually, but it's like me and my mom used to call it like the shiny people. Okay, this is like our theory. And it's like a horrible theory, but I'll say it anyways. So shiny people is like people who are going through life, and it's like regular hurdles, challenges. Everybody's hurdles and challenges, by the way, I'm not trying to invalidate anyone, feel the biggest to them. But like sometimes when you go through something that is so crazy and so life altering and the whole world knows about it, and it's like everything's turned upside down, you're just not, I guess you lose like that innocence of life. And that's also like where I kind of learned like nothing really matters, you know? Like the craziest thing ever that you never thought could happen to anybody. Like, we're not special. I'm not special.
And
so like people who haven't had that, sometimes it's actually hard for me to connect to people who haven't had a crazy life. It's really funny.
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
sometimes like me and my friend, like me and like two of my good friends will be like, we get each other because we've just all have like the craziest things that have happened to us. And like we just connect on like a deeper level. And not all my friends are like that, but it becomes hard to connect to other people or understand other people who haven't been through something life-altering. You're just like, oh, like you don't get it.
It's exactly. I was gonna say like the
You're like, you
opposite.
don't
It's
get
like,
it.
with
Yeah.
those friends who you do connect with. There's that underlying sense of like you get it. Like you
Yeah,
understand.
like, okay, like no big deal.
Right.
Cool.
Do
Like,
you-
oh, you had to cancel 5 minutes before and I'm already at the restaurant? That's fine.
Did you know they had something life altering, or you
Not
just
always.
feel the energy?
Not
Really?
always. You feel their energy. I've actually met people who are like good friends where like we met initially in any situation, whatever it was, and you just sense their energy and eventually it will come out. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like of course we're connecting.
It'd be kind of crazy
Like-
if they told you their deepest secret right
No,
when they
but
met you.
because I was a hairstylist for 10 years, people just tell me things. Like within like 10 minutes, they're like,
The barber's code. That's
yeah,
it.
like within 10 minutes, they're like, my cat died yesterday. Like within like 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I want to hear more about this part because we have a hairdresser next door also.
Oh, really?
And he used to cut hair.
Yeah, I just don't get. And I used to give haircuts, and people would sit down.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even know who you
Oh,
are.
I didn't say a
tell me
word.
any-
I would not
Really?
say a
Giving you
word. I
hair-
would just be like chilling, being like, you want waves or a blowout?
But why
you
are they
know?
so comfortable with it?
And they'd
Right.
be like, oh my God, I haven't spoken to my father in 18 years. I'm like, oh my God, is everything okay?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's tough with barbers.
it's the culture of the job.
In the waiting room, they should just do therapy, and then they're already done.
I always say I
Wow.
should definitely be charging more.
Yeah, if you're an on-site therapist, then
And then sometimes
higher
people are like, okay, so are you gonna remember all the crazy things you know about us now? Like, are we good? And I'm like, no, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna forget tomorrow, and I probably won't remember your names just because if you're doing like 100 weddings a year,
you can't.
you just can't remember after 10 years, especially.
Back to
so
content-
don't worry, your
yeah.
secrets are safe.
Back to content creating. Do you feel like there's and also back to content creating your personality?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any pressure to constantly be like really energetic and really intense, or like really, I wouldn't say intense, but just like not so chill, I guess. Is there any pressure as an influencer?
Not for me.
But I see that with almost every other, not almost, like a lot of other influencers, where it's just like, if I were you, I would just be so overwhelmed all the time that I need to be on, always dress incredibly, and like always be like on it, like socially, and like, like kind of like the same vibe as like a one-shot take kind of guy, like
Right.
one take, like just always on it, like always on the ball.
So I will say, I think the number one thing to remember is it's such a small portion of life that you're seeing. A video that is 30 seconds maybe took me, I don't know, an hour to make, maybe a little less. You're not really seeing me in my real life.
Right.
And so in my real life, I'm able to really just be chill. I get overwhelmed in like busier seasons because I'll have a lot of projects stacked up on top of each other and a lot of commitments. But that's just regular work stress. Like that's just okay, I gotta get it done. But that's normal.
What do people not get about, first of all, the whole influencer side of it, but also when clients are coming to you, because we have a lot of people that, it's very frustrating for any business probably, when you're trying to give someone a service or a product and they just don't get what you're doing, what your value is. So what are those sorts of things within the influencer side?
So I would say it's kind of hard. Usually people won't want to invest in using an influencer if they don't have the budget for it, which makes sense. A lot of the businesses are small businesses and they really don't have marketing budgets. That being said, I really believe in spending money to make money. So if they look at it as more of an investment, that makes sense to me. Sometimes they'll reach out, they'll be like, hey, can we just like do it on barter or collab? And there have been times when I've done it. Like sometimes it just makes sense. Like I'm like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, I'll do that. Or like, but for the most part, if it's gonna take time and energy, like, here's my media kit. Zahu.
Right.
Like, and if it's not for you, that's cool too. That's fine.
But why do you think people have these ideas in the first place? And not even why, just how do we educate people? Because we have this all the time.
Okay.
How do we make it so people know the answers to those questions even before we're talking to them?
Which questions?
The questions like, why is it worth what you're charging? How long is it going to take?
Okay.
Why did you make this decision instead of that decision? And why should I listen to you instead of my friend who just texted me, who's like, they work in this company and they said we should do this instead?
So in terms of companies hiring an influencer, you have to realize that what you're paying for is not really the picture or the video, which, yeah, some people are paying for the usage rights, but that's something else. You're really paying for the eyeballs. Quite literally, you're paying for the views that you probably won't get on your own page because either your page does not have a personable figure behind it, like you don't have a face representing your brand. And so, for example, let's say Kellogg's reached out to someone and let's say they didn't have a marketing budget. Kellogg's, hit me up. It's kind of like, I'm not following Kellogg's on Instagram. like as a consumer, like I don't really care.
Do they have Tony the Tiger? Is that someone else? Oh, that's Frosted.
That's
Flakes.
Frosted
cereal
Flakes.
specific.
From
That's a
Challah.
specific cereal.
Yeah.
I guess what
Kellogg's
I'm trying
got
to like,
their-
they have characters that represent them, so that's actually, I guess, what makes them personable.
Like DJ was showing me Dora's Instagram page. She's
Dora
popping
has an
off.
Instagram page.
She's
Is
doing
she,
all the
is
trends.
she
Like a
popping
muscle.
off?
I think so. Yeah. Right. A lot of views.
Still hanging out with Boots.
I don't know. I
He
don't
must
know.
be so much older now.
What do you think about the whole Gen Z? You have corporate brands like this Dora
TCL
account.
and
They got a lot of pushback because they had Dora, who's like a classic Nickelodeon character,
Yeah.
and they had her explaining what Sigma means to little kids
and
I
Slay
don't like
and
and
that.
other.
Slay, and everyone's like, "What? What is it? Why are you making brain rot?"
Can you
It looks
spell
like it was coming
Slay?
from a
Can you
knockoff
spell
account. I
That's
thought-
actually what it was.
I
thought he
would
was
have also
showing me a
thought it's
meme.
AI. Yeah.
And then it was real. By the way, the AI stuff is awesome. Like I think
So
that
funny.
if you have a good sense of humor or you understand AI well
You get on that.
and you make something really creative, it's probably better or equal to having a face or a personality.
Right. I think
Because
brands
you don't make
that
brain
are
rot,
just
right?
what?
Nothing about what you make is brain rot.
It's wholesome.
Right.
So why do you actively stay away from it? Do you dislike it, or you're just like, that's not me?
What do you mean?
Meaning, a lot of people used to not make brain rot, and now they see it and they're like, oh, this person is making
This is working.
this weird animated thing, or
Chimpanzee money.
Gen Z only likes.
I will tell you, like I'm a sucker for funny memes and any like AI generated cool photos and videos. That's like my
What do those look
kryptonite.
like for you? Because they look so different. When one person says cool AI generated images,
Okay,
it
when
doesn't
DJ
I
look
seen
say-
different.
mine, and then I showed it to my friends, and my friends were like, "What
are you watching?"
doing
Same
with
here.
your
I know
life?"
because it's really interesting to see how every person's feed is curated for them.
By the way.
Yeah. I wonder what mine is right now.
Let's see it.
For a
It's
while,
so scary, but like so cool.
For a while, a lot of them were those
Do you
those
know
like
that Italian
starter
brain rot?
pack, like the dolls with the accessories that everyone was
Oh, I hate
making.
those.
I loved it. I thought it was
Ugh.
so cute.
What are they called? Something like something family. They're like little animals. Those ones.
It's the
No.
action figures.
It's like action figures.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everyone figured
Or
out that you
Barbies.
could just copy and paste the same prompt.
Oh,
and
the
you
yeah,
get
of
AI
course.
things.
I'm
Oh.
also a sucker. I love reading AI prompts.
Reading
So fun.
AI prompts?
Yeah, like I follow accounts that like talk about AI prompts.
What's like
Like
you?
they talk about how to use AI to your benefit and different prompts that you can use to like either if you're building a business or writing a book or running a social media account, whatever you're doing, like there are certain prompts that can help you organize your information. And it's awesome. I
I
love
want to
it.
see your feed. I'm,
What
like, so
prompts
curious.
I know,
are
I'm like
you
looking
using?
what's on it right now. Okay, let's see.
What prompts are you using, by the way?
Right now, like
Yeah.
my top prompt.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
like a ChatGPT super user.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, those
I feel like I'm
reels-
being very exposed. I have a lot of sourdough questions on mine right now,
That's pretty cool.
but that's because I had a trauma.
Low key, like it used to be like, don't look through my camera roll for whatever reason. Now it's like, don't look
look
through
by-
my ChatGPT.
By the way, don't that like after we die, someone needs to go delete our
Delete
ChatGPT
everything.
history.
you could do it, by the way. You could do it like right
yeah.
now.
Okay, let's see. Okay, one of them is like, okay, like pretty sourdough.
Uh huh.
Okay, cool, right?
Oh, this
Like
is your
flowers.
feed.
It looks like
stuff.
flowers.
Mhm.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna go through your reels.
Okay.
This is the for you
Well, this
page,
is
yeah.
just like my For You page.
I think
okay.
TikTok is a way better measure if you're trying to expose someone.
Are you more active on Instagram or
I'm
TikTok?
the most active on Instagram.
It's Color Daddy.
Okay, let's see.
It is it's such an exposing feeling, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
I
like, oh my
get
god,
the
I'm like,
view.
don't
you
look.
you guys have no idea what's going on.
Like this is like
Mm-hmm.
like a marketing thing where they're talking about different
Blank Street, yeah.
like different marketing
Collabs.
campaigns that are currently going on that they like and breaking it down, which I love reading about.
Do you like that the for you page? Do you like the way the algorithm caters to you, or do you find it like scary?
Sometimes I get like annoyed. I'm like, I don't know why you're showing me this. Let's see what else is like fun AI stuff that I like looking at.
Have you seen?
Okay, you know what's really cool? AI when they make like interior design in houses.
Oh, there's like apps
So-
for that. Yeah.
we used that for
cool.
this set.
Oh, did you?
I took a picture of
So
the
when
set,
they
yeah.
do like these like crazy kitchens and whatever, so it's all over Pinterest now, which I also really love.
Cool.
And you literally can't tell if it's real or not. It's so good.
We
We're
literally
so
have the
doomed.
AI picture that we based this set off of, and it looks
Yeah. By the way, here, I'll show
Let me see.
almost identical.
It's so cool. It's basically the same thing.
Do you guys feel like the world will be run by robots soon?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
mind.
I
By
think
robots.
By robots. No, I
that
think
the
like,
job market will drastically change in the next 20 years, and I think anyone who's trying to lie to themselves that it's not is, probably gonna fall behind.
I think we all have to get on the train.
I think you have to get on the train, but I also think that you can't think
just
the world is
cringing.
ending because.
I think it's so
agree?
ridiculous.
No, it's not ending. I
Look
think
at-
we're gonna be great.
We're gonna have
we're
a
gonna have a
Jobs
lot of
gonna
time to do
come,
other
AI is
things.
gonna come.
Or that, or there might be thousands more jobs that are created as a result of AI.
Are you not
Maybe.
seeing that the internet and iPhones, smartphones didn't exist 30 years ago, and we're all still here and have jobs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What is
But-
so fundamentally
But
different about AI?
a lot of
that
this
we're not
because a
gonna
lot
have
of the
jobs?
same because a lot of the jobs that exist now didn't exist before computers were created.
So people change.
Like
That's
I'll
what
give
I'm
you
saying.
an
That's
example
exactly
of
what I'm
something
saying.
like
Old
there
jobs
won't
will
be
die out,
like
and new jobs will
telemarketers and
created.
stuff. You won't need it anymore.
Yeah, copywriters.
You
even
won't need any of
lawyers,
it, yeah.
New
These
jobs
are just
will
a
arise,
few
yeah.
jobs that are going away. Like you used to have a person that used to fax stuff. You used to have a person
Right.
that
Yeah.
would
Like the
do-
mail guy.
The Telegram people.
It's like when Excel came out. This is a good example. I don't know the exact facts on it, but I know this as a general story is true. When Excel came out, people were freaking out. People who
Really?
were manual put in data into data sets or write things down on paper, and all
he
of a
was
sudden
freaking out in the womb. He was
I was
like,
freaking out like, oh my god, what the heck am I gonna do?
As a fetus.
But I'm just saying, as society progresses, new tools come out, and you need to adapt to those new tools.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not going anywhere, But yeah, also it could just be the way we make money is different, and the way we live is different.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
My experience has been every single person saying that has something to sell you, and it usually has something to do with AI.
I don't have anything to sell.
What?
Not you, but
But
I'm
I
saying
feel like-
all the people pushing this message. We have ChatGPT.
Oh, I
the
hear
world
what
is
you're
not
saying.
so
Like they think
different
it's gonna
right
take away from them. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the only reason that people are saying AI is going to change the whole world and you have to act now, don't get caught.
AI cults.
Yeah, that I think is too
They're
much.
all the people
No,
saying.
that's aggressive.
Yeah.
We have a book in here also, the AI-driven thought
Leader,
leader or something.
yeah.
And the premise of it
Jeff
is that
Woods, or
you
Jeff
should
Woods.
run everything by your ChatGPT AI thought partners.
Co-founder. I have a co-founder.
Yeah.
And
Do you use
Laura-
them every day?
I talk to him all the time. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that's fundamentally changing
Did you?
anyone's life.
Oh my God! There's a new prompt actually trending right
What's the
now.
prompt?
You should do it. If you use ChatGPT enough, or any of those engines, do the prompt. Tell me 10 blind spots about
Yeah.
my life. Did
Blind
you do
spots.
it?
I heard about it. I didn't do it, but I heard about
So
that
I did
prompt.
it. They know everything about you.
Really?
They know everything about you.
I made a custom GPT that is it just knows everything. It doesn't remember anything. It just knows.
Oh,
'cause
really?
When you
build,
design
you
it.
could build models, by the way.
Yeah, on ChatGPT. That's what I
I
did.
once ran out of storage. It didn't let me do any more prompts. 'Cause
Really?
I built too many models. So now it doesn't know anything about me.
That's
So,
so
You want to
funny.
hear some of my blind spots?
Yeah, sure.
You give a lot, but you may not always receive the same energy back. So true.
These are things, but these blind spots aren't things that you're doing wrong. It's just things that you're not noticing, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's see.
These are like newspaper horoscopes. Today is going to be good, but not the best. But
Or
it might
like
also be
fortune
pretty
cookies.
bad.
I was gonna say fortune cookies. Yeah.
You may be underestimating how much you've already built. You're constantly in build and refine mode. That makes sense.
What's a blind spot that you got that you think a lot of people experience or go through?
This one, you might be trying to be everything and everywhere for everyone,
Do you think that that's true for yourself?
for sure.
How
It's
do
like
you-
a horror. It's like a
I like
harsh reality.
that they're like compliments also. It's like
In a
you're
way.
so good at
But
doing
you know
a lot
what's
of
funny? It's
things.
actually toxic to think that way a little bit. Like I shouldn't be trying to be everything at all times.
Right.
Is that
So
why
how do
you
cope
rebranded?
with it?
No,
So how do you cope with that?
I don't know. It
don't
just
know.
told me yesterday.
You're just it's still settling in.
I
It
need
doesn't
to
tell
go
you
now.
what
We
to
need to
do.
do therapy. Okay, we're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna follow up.
One of the things I hate about ChatGPT is that when they're overly supportive, it's like you ever say like, "Hey Chat, this is like a business idea. This is what I think." You're not just thinking like a founder. You're thinking like a thought leader. You're
You're
not
amazing.
You're amazing.
You can tell him not to do that, by the way.
I want to tell him just stop. Oh, this was cool. There was someone who created a prompt that was like, be insanely cold, like no jargon, no extra things. It was like a 5-paragraph long prompt, and it was like basically make ChatGPT mean, but
That's
still
horrible.
very effective. No, but overly effective. And it's just like, and then he proceeds to ask ChatGPT like fun, like nice questions, like, oh, how's your day going today? It's like irrelevant. Ask me a question.
That's funny.
I think the silliest thing I see people doing with AI is that they only ask one prompt. They're not making multiple prompts. They're not
Right.
They're not building that
You have
model.
to get used to it.
You have to make it into somebody that you want to get the response from.
Yeah.
Or else you're just going to get general from the internet, from wherever it's learning this language model from.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think AI is going to do something crazy, but something I am really excited about. I was listening to Mark Zuckerberg's podcast with Theo Vaughn. Crazy podcast. Mark is the man, by the way. But he was saying that glasses are going to be the next big thing because
Why?
it sees your perspective. It sees what you see. The mic is right by the nose, so it gets closer to your mouth than an AirPod.
Oh, wow.
The headphones could be right by your ears. So it's an immersive, like, I don't think you're going to need a smartphone. You can do everything you do on your phone, and you can make holograms.
So you can just like walk around
Yeah,
Yeah,
in an AI world.
kind of.
be really connected.
And
I don't really like that.
he
Yeah.
said he wants to make different tiers of glasses. So let's say the cheaper ones are going to have less features, or if you want a thinner glasses, it's going to have less features.
But then we're gonna constantly have to be wearing them.
or always
That's
have a
not
phone
gonna
in
be
our
very.
pocket.
It's not gonna be pretty.
What about a phone? It's literally a
Or what-
glowing rectangle.
It's like when
in my
you wear an
pocket.
Apple Watch to a wedding. Ew.
Some people
Right.
think it's a look. Some people think it's a vibe.
No, it's not.
Usher,
Take your
are
Apple
you one
Watch
of those
off.
people?
I would wear SpongeBob SquarePants glasses, those thick glasses, if it told me everything I needed to do and it cleaned my room for me in AI or
I
something.
don't know how to do that.
If it cleaned for me, I would get it.
I don't
Do you
know
think
how
they're
to
going to do a lot in fashion?
What?
AI.
They're already doing a lot.
Like what?
They're already like generating like all these cool graphics and like things that aren't real.
I feel like a lot of fashion. I know nothing about fashion, but my sense tells me that I feel like
Got
a
a
lot
very
of.
fashionable hoodie on right now.
By the way, repping the brand. I feel like a lot of fashion trends, or let's say the reason why things are expensive, the reason why people like certain types of clothing, is because it's associated to a brand or it's associated to a name, or more specifically a designer. So do you see ChatGPT owning or AI owning the designer space, and is that going to, do you think that's going to get in the way of authentic designers owning, I guess, the fashion industry?
I don't know.
It's the same thing as like graphic design. Like
I don't know.
It's different than graphic design.
if you pay someone
I
to
mean,
make a
it would
graphic
be.
for you,
It's like
Because
who would
it's
you
a-
sue?
because-
You know, like you're
no,
gonna
no,
sue
no,
AI.
not from a legal, not a legal standpoint. I'm saying, like, do you think people are still going to like fashion trends and designs that were created by AI, or do you think there's always going to be that sense of like, I only like this because this designer made it, and I know this, and I love this designer. I love this designer brand.
Honestly, if someone came out with like an AI line of like shoes and bags, that'd be super cool.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't know. I should try that.
I feel like
business
it would-
idea, whoever wants to take
it would look
it.
really cool. Like, I'm sure it would be a really
Like, I wonder if
visually-
you asked ChatGPT to design you an outfit, what would it look like?
I'm sure there's already somebody doing that.
For
Like,
Wait,
sure.
I should totally do that.
That's what I'm saying. Great
crazy.
business idea.
Yeah.
People are also, they're throwing the AI label on everything as if
Yeah.
there weren't 3D renders and models of things based on databases before. Like we had
It's just faster.
generative.
It's one
yeah.
step.
It's faster for consumers, but we've had the tech for a while, I think.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think. To
Not
wrap
to
it
this
up,
extent, yeah.
what's happening in the future? Maybe just the near future? And then what's one leaving message that you would have for people?
I gotta think about that. What's in the future? Summer.
Summer's
What's
fun.
happening in the summer?
Summer's coming. I don't know. Actually, in the summer, I really try and actually live a little.
It's the best
Yeah.
time to live, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only time you could live in the New York area.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Gonna try
More
and live
sourdough,
summer.
more
balance
ramen.
things.
Yeah.
No ramen in summer.
Oh, why
It's
not?
You're not
too
a-
hot.
Really.
You're not gonna serve soup for dinner when
a
it's hot
hot bowl of
outside.
soup
Dovey
and a
Newberger
hot
made a
day.
thing about that.
Did he?
About cholent in the summer. When you go.
By the way, RE requests that I stop making chicken soup around June usually.
Really?
He's like, no one's eating it. It's gonna go in the garbage. I'm
I
not
was
eating
soup-
soup in the summer.
I eat soup all
Serve
the
it
time.
cold.
I also do, but he has like this thing. He won't. Like he already basically stopped.
What about cholent?
That I have to make because like my kids,
It's
they
a
eat it for like
ritual.
3 days.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's the best hack.
Can you eat cholent after a Tuesday?
No.
Is it cut off?
Tuesday, I think Monday's the cutoff.
Actually, by the way, Friday is my cutoff. I don't even eat it Shabbos day. Like if I
Really?
was gonna have some, it's gonna be like Friday night.
Why do
My
people
wife's the
hate
same
cholent? Why do they keep on making it? Why is it such a...
Cholent's great.
I think we can end on that. So the leaving message for people is don't serve us chicken soup at your Shabbos meal in the summer, please.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
This was
you.
awesome.
This is awesome stuff.
That was your
Let's do it again.
line.